Is Trump right to think that the cases that Alvin Bragg and Tish James brought against him are politically okay? Well, there's a reversal. Right, because the same people, right. Alvin Bragg, that's the one about the hush money to Stormy Daniels, right? And Tish James is the one about his business dealings. Apparently, he's a crook. Is Trump right to think those cases are politically motivated?
First, Trump is never right in my book. Just as
Was there ever a time when you were a friend? I mean, he goes way back in New York, as you do.
He goes way back. We're both from Queens, New York.
Right.
Our families knew each other. I dealt with him extensively through COVID, literally on a daily basis. No, we were never friends. Okay. What is interesting about the question is there was actually a poll. Alvin Bragg, the Manhattan District Attorney, brought the first case against Trump. This is before Mar-a-Lago, before January 6th, which were, in my opinion, frankly, more serious cases. But they did a poll after Alvin Bragg brought the case. 76% of Americans said it was politically influenced. 76%. 76% of Americans.
On the latest episode of Real Time with Bill Maher, the panel jumped headfirst into one of the most divisive topics in American politics, Donald Trump's mounting legal troubles. Maher kicked things off with a jarring statistic. 76% of Americans believe the charges against Trump are politically motivated. That set the tone for a deeper discussion on justice, perception, and credibility. Former Governor Andrew Cuomo responded directly, saying he disagreed with Trump's views but warned that growing public distrust in the legal system poses a far greater danger. By leading with cases like the Stormy Daniels payment and valuation disputes, Cuomo argued, prosecutors inadvertently helped Trump frame himself as a political target rather than a defendant. With each indictment, Trump's support has only grown, fueled by the narrative of persecution. Cuomo and Maher agreed. No matter how polarizing Trump may be, preserving public trust in the justice system must take priority over any one individual.
It's telling, Bill, because if we don't trust government, we don't trust the media, etc. If this country believes that the justice system itself is then politically tainted, then we have real trouble, because then you're on the precipice of anarchy. But that's what I found telling about that. It was more the public opinion was so high that politics is influencing the justice system.
And, I mean, Trump is the kind of guy, the more he goes to jail, the more popular he becomes. It's like, it's street cred. He's like a rapper. It's true. And also, I never thought they should have brought the Stormy Daniels one. And the fact that there's one, it just, to the people who don't follow it closely, you know, they should have just had one, he's generally a piece of shit, Trump. But one omnibus piece of shit.
And the Stormy Daniels case, it's like you're asking America to then think of this former porn star as a hero, and Michael Cohen, who's a known liar and fixer, as a hero, and it was really a books and records case that was upcharged to beat the statute of limitations. So, yeah, it made it really easy to roll your eyes on the other ones that were more serious.
The fear is that hush money or inflating your assets, it does reduce the veracity of much more serious crimes, including nuclear secrets and trying to overturn the peaceful transfer of power. I think it was just a tactical error.
The conversation then shifted to strategy and potential missteps. Prosecutors, the panel suggested, may have undermined the legal system's legitimacy by launching relatively minor cases first. Instead of leading with serious allegations like mishandling classified documents or inciting the January 6th riot, they began with hush money charges, opening the door to accusations of political theater. Even some Trump critics voiced concern that this sequencing plays directly into claims of bias, making justice look like revenge. More than optics, this approach could have real consequences for public confidence. When legal proceedings are perceived as politically motivated, the entire system suffers. The panel emphasized that transparency and fairness, not partisanship, must remain the bedrock of justice if the courts are to retain credibility with the American people.
I see why you two are pissed, because I mean, Democrats at their best, I think, are wonks. And I mean that as a great compliment. It's the one thing that Republicans, you don't usually find Republican wonks. They're Reagan, give me it on one page. Bush, give me it on one page. You know, they're one-pagers. And government is complicated. And I know you two put in the time.
Government is complicated, and sometimes it requires sharp elbows, and sometimes it requires you to have to be tough in order to be effective. But the thing I find so funny about it is the reaction to my book. Some of it is people saying, oh, this is, she wants to go out and attack people that attacked them. And I'm like, okay, well, there was a point when you were comparing me to Hitler's enabler, but now we're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't criticize anybody. Don't call this out. And really what I find interesting is nobody wants to talk about the facts of what happened. Because when you look at the facts of what happened, it's so damning. So it's easy to make it about personalities and about vendettas, about everything else.
Well, I feel like those things carry the day. To answer that question I asked you at the beginning, why would a liberal state with a liberal paper go after a liberal governor? Because, I'm sorry, make it all about generations, but a lot of the younger generation who was raised on the phone, which makes you shady and passive aggressive and mean and fake. I'm sorry, it just does. I don't think, you think they care about policy first and foremost? I don't. I think they take glee in this kind of shit. They like taking, especially that nest of vipers that's Albany.
Yeah. No, they love it. It's sport. It's actual sport. It's sport.
So it's like, he's on my same team. Who gives a shit who team? You know what? I'm on my team, and it's so. Now again, I don't know what happened, and I don't know who's at fault. But
in its final segment, the discussion zoomed out to the broader crisis, political polarization and its corrosive effect on governance. The panel criticized a political culture increasingly driven by personal feuds and performative outrage rather than substantive problem-solving. Media and social media, they argued, reward emotional extremes over nuanced policy, with younger generations especially vulnerable to this algorithm-driven echo chamber as partisan divisions deepen. The ability of public officials to govern effectively weakens. The panel didn't shy away from accountability, but warned against letting tribal loyalties and online rage crowd out rational discourse. Their conclusion was clear: America's challenges won't be solved by spectacle, but by leaders and citizens, willing to prioritize intelligent, solutions-oriented engagement over ideological warfare.